What's up, guys? I got a new bait here. I mentioned it a little bit in one of my other videos. This is the Yo-Zuri Knucklebait. Half-ounce bait. Notice that says 3D prism ball. And that is kind of the unique feature of this thing. That is this little thing right here. This little thing that's basically, this bait is kind of like a spinner bait, but there's no blade. You've got this prism ball thing kind of hanging from the front there that gives this thing kind of a different look in the water, a different kind of action. And they've got a decent little description on some of the different things that this can do on the back here. It's got kind of an interesting kind of flash to it. Interesting kind of sound and vibration when it's coming through the water, as well as if you were to bounce it off of something. Different ways you can fish it, kind of like most spinner baits. You can let it fall and kind of yo-yo it. You can kind of burn it back. You can kind of crawl it along the bottom, bump it off the bottom. In that little picture there, they're even buzzing it on the surface. So I went out and fished this thing today, and I'll show you a little clip or two at the end of this video, just to casting and reeling of it a little bit. I'm not sure how much you'll see, but I haven't seen the footage yet, but we'll throw it in here anyway. Unfortunately, on the water today, I didn't catch hardly anything on any lures. I had one fish on a Cinco, and that was it. But I really liked the way this thing looked in the water. Of the stuff on the back of the package here, the thing that I think is interesting the most to me that I saw was this right here, this erratic action. If you look in that picture there, you notice it's got kind of a little drawing of what would be a little bit of a side-to-side kind of rocking motion a little bit that this thing can do. And that to me is probably, the most value of this bait for me personally. Because you have baits like spinner baits that have these blades and they put out this thump, and then you have a bait like a chatterbait or a scrounger that has this heavy vibration when the bait's going up and down, as you're yo-yoing it or working it. This bait, I think, it excels because it gives you a little bit of that vibration and kind of look in the water, but you can reel it faster if you want to, just like a spinnerbait. Sometimes if you try to reel a chatterbait or one of those type of baits, one of those vibrating baits, sometimes it'll just kind of blow out of the water, or it will it'll kind of mess the retrieve up. You can't burn every single one of those types of baits. So this is kind of a nice little in-between that I saw. And then the added bonus that this little prism ball thing, if you notice, it's got a little square in there with this little kind of, I don't know what you call, little hologram, little holographic kind of little deal. It kind of gives it a nice look in the water. And I've put a little Kitech little swim bait on the back here to pair it up. So it's a nice little bait, just gives the fish just something a little different to look at. These come in a couple of colors. I think they've got them on Tackle Warehouse. You can check it out. Is that where I got this? I can't remember if I got this on Tackle Warehouse or not. I think I did, though. Anyway, Yo-Zuri is a pretty, they're not, you can find their stuff. It's not super hard to find. So you should be able to find this. I think that's where I got this thing. I buy so many lures these days, I can't remember where I got them at. But this is a pretty cool bait, and some of the other colors, the prism ball is, I know they've got a greenish one, and a variety of other patterns and colors that you can pick from. I kind of went with this light blue and went with the white swim bait, kind of give me a little bit of a shad kind of scheme. But you could easily, put a different bait on this and imitate something else. But anyway, I think the Knucklebait is a pretty cool little design. I've never really fished anything quite like it. I fished, a variety of little spinnerbait deals, different blades and stuff like that. So this is an interesting concept, and I think it'll do well. I'm anxious to actually catch some fish on it. My local lake, it's just been slow recently. I don't know why, because getting in the fall, usually the fishing heats up, but it just hasn't clicked yet there with really any bait. So I'll be patiently waiting for the fishing to really turn on there. But this is a cool bait. Definitely check it out. Give it a try. Yo-Zuri, you know, they put out cool stuff. So give the old Knucklebait a try and get you some fish. That's the Yo-Zuri Knucklebait. Kind of similar to a spinnerbait. It's got this kind of ball thing on here. Gives it kind of an interesting vibration, almost like a chatterbait a little bit.